Yo, so currently getting a tiny, small little pullback, but this is great. This is really good. Firstly, we had dominance reverse last week, which is insane. We then had a temporary high of Bitcoin sitting at $24,200. We ended up nailing quite a few trades last week within let's look at the rest of the list. We had a good week, guys, and we're catching great momentum right now, and I plan on doing the same this week. We had ILV, which is also a really big play that we nailed perfectly. And right now we're riding some strong momentum, and the goal is to continue. Now, the big thing that is happening today, firstly, it's Monday, start of the week. We had weekly close yesterday. The big thing, look at this. Woo! Are we getting a golden cross? What's happening? But tomorrow, are we getting a golden cross in Bitcoin? Which is quite crazy. You know, we go back and we see how the immediate reaction, I like to call it the late indicator, the one that tells us retail is coming into the market. I feel retail have dipped their toes into the market. I don't think they've poured enough of this money in yet, and I kind of feel the guys are hungry. So the last time we ended up having a slight dip before, but what the golden cross ended up doing for us was getting Bitcoin from the region of 45K back to the 69,000. So on a higher time frame, it's a great indication that retail possibly coming in now, and it makes sense. The big chart that everyone's talking about is the market cheat sheet to say that, is this the area? I saw many guys have been speaking about it. Is depression coming next? And they're kind of late. I've been speaking about this now for the last few months, last few weeks, sorry, where pullback from Bitcoin, another push up from Bitcoin. It does not make a higher high, but the altcoins, the big daddies, the altcoins, they decide to wake up. And as you can see over here, the total 3 has test, support, it is reset and ready to go. And if we add this now onto the actual main chart that we focused on, which is the emotion chart, we could still see that if you have a look over here, we just came out of anger. And now we're looking at a catch up from the altcoins, get us to where Bitcoin's at. So for me, on this pullback, I'm looking at ways of where we're going to protect ourselves, but I'm looking at what altcoins are we buying right now, what isn't left, what has not launched just yet. And I still feel there's one more crazy altcoin pump before we could still go into depression. There is still a depression coming. I still definitely feel that, but I still feel there's money first. No more wasting time, James. Let's get into the show.
Click, have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, when the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo. Can you hear me, James? Put a thumbs up there, please, bro. Okay, amazing. It was going a little bit fuzzy my side, and everything was Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? How we doing? Pop in the comments how your weekend was, how we feeling. What do you agree? Do you agree depression is still coming? I'm going to speak about it. There's a lot to talk about. If you're brand new, smash the subscribe button. You're part of the channel, smash that like button. Help us get this content out. We are pumping right now. We are fired up right now. Everything is going great. We're catching strong momentum. I hope you've been enjoying the trades. I hope you've been enjoying everything. We have such a good year ahead of us. We've learned so much the last 2 years. One crazy bull year run for me, starting off at Banter, and then a crazy bear market. And now we're going into the 3rd year, and I just feel we're going to bring everything together and crush it. Cool. Let's speak about what's happening. Just before, guys, remember, if you sign up with any of the exchange links below, you qualify to win 2 of the Rolexes. If you're on ByBit, if you're on Bitget, and you trade on those accounts, it qualifies you for an entry. And if you do have any of these as well, it allows you into our Discord. Now, guys, understand our Discord is incredible. Let's see if it's logged me out. Oh, there we go. Cool. So if you have a look over here, under Sheldon the Sniper, you get the show charts. all of the charts, which is really, really, really good. And then you have the live trading whenever I decide to go private live trading, which we are doing a lot more of now. You can see everyone's pumped, everything looking good, the Sheldon updates and the Sheldon trades. This is really cool, guys. It's a nice way for me to update. Firstly, giving you charts of where we see it happening. And then after, once it's played out, which players played out. And we have this beautiful way of giving you trades and then updating the charts as things start to play out. So you can choose Polkadot, THETA, any of these ones, and you'll soon see how it's amazing to have all these updates and all these things play out, which is really cool. And all the updates. So make sure you are a part of our Discord. Cool. Let's jump into it, guys. So the big chatting point is obviously this one over here. Now, let's actually go in here, and everyone now, I've been speaking about it for a while, but now everyone, and the big chart that's going around is this chart of the, I saw Crypto posted it, this one over here. And I saw everyone's talking about it now, that are we here in the Wall Street cheat sheet? We just came out of anger. Bitcoin sort of following it exactly. But I have been speaking about this, that we are getting to that critical level. And for me, I agree with it. The only thing that they're missing is this little piece over here. Now, what this piece is this little piece. Focus on it. Let's zoom in into it. What happens is Bitcoin makes its way up, right? 16,000 or 15,800 and goes all the way to 25K. Amazing. What happens in that time? Dominance spikes up. Dominance, boom, everything back into Bitcoin. Fantastic. Then what happens is a pullback from Bitcoin, a small pullback. They all miss that. They're all saying from here it goes into depression. No, for me, this is how I'm seeing it play out. Small pullback. From that, we have another attempt from Bitcoin for the high. It does not make that high. We will soon see. I'm going to give you guys the two reviews. But what happens in this time is dominance turns. And because dominance turns, we now have all the altcoins that were sitting here lagging behind because it was a Bitcoin pump. We have them catch up. And only once the altcoins are here too, then do we start the possible leg of depression. This is how we're going to prep. This is how we're going to trade until the invalidation kicks in. What is the invalidation? The invalidation is we crack this, which I won't be surprised if they still try trick it. They try send a little wick there. But if we get through this level over here, it now invalidates this basic, simple thesis for now. And it does not mean that this is not playing out. It just may mean that we are not here, which may be quite interesting. But right now, we're still playing in there. But we look again, and I'll remind you again on this Monday over here, we look at total 3, and we can see that total 3 is not there. We're not at that area over there. And for me, until the total 3, total 2, and total 1, which is the whole entire market, is here, then I see the possibility of depression coming next. So for me, altcoins, a lot of them have already just started crossing 200-day moving averages. There's a bunch of golden crosses coming there too. I want to see what the golden cross does for Bitcoin. That's a big one, to see how it starts to amplify and get retail back into the market. But for me, we are not there just yet when it comes to the altcoins. And then let's actually look at the Bitcoin quickly on that specific topic. And the topic of it is Bitcoin currently right now. Let's just get the right chart. There we go. There's Bitcoin. Okay. And if you do look at the cheat sheet, it does slightly go possibly lower, or it does match this high over here. So as I spoke about the invalidation point when it comes to Bitcoin, it's basically this high over here. And this high is around about the 24,500. Okay. And what the cheat sheet is showing is here, rejection, pullback, one more attempt, and then we're going to depression. And so far, that's still playing out. And we got to trade for that. We have to stick with that. And in our minds, that's what's going to happen next. Okay. Until proven wrong. And what proven wrong is, there's still time, is this huge gap over here. Now, not only do we have this piece over here, just above it, we have a really big gap. And what it basically implies for us is if we get, this is where the whole world and everyone right now is going to be trying to short Bitcoin because they're looking at the Wall Street cheat sheets and things like that. And what we know is there's tons of stop losses too. And we got to prep for that, but we also have a backup plan that if it decides to shatter through here, we know how quickly it's going to make its way towards the 30K area. And until then, we're trading plan 1. Until something else happens, then we jump into plan 2. But that does not stick to the simple understanding that it's altcoin time. And right now, dominance is making its way down. And we have the total 3 that broke the 200-day moving average a few days back. It broke out of the major trend on the weekly and now has tested it perfectly, literally to the cent at that area. And as long as we hold this retest, it is showing another altcoin rally that takes us either up to these higher areas over here, if not to the higher areas over there, which is basically implying around about a 50% growth over the entire altcoin base. Now, let's put that into perspective where we're actually at. We had an area now where a lot of the tokens, let's go look at actually the month, where a lot of the tokens have already done these crazy percentages, okay? And the ones that have done these crazy percentages, for me, still sticks to 20, 30, 40%, possibly more. But the ones that haven't done these ones and are hot when it comes to fundamentals, and that they're the ones for me that have this extra huge catch up. And that's why we've been focusing in the last week of getting the right altcoins that are still early, that are still primed, that are still only breaking the major areas now at the moment. So for me, this is still looking good. I am expecting the market to possibly continue to be a little bit red for the day, if not slightly more red. Okay. I'm not expecting too much more than around about a 3 to 4% possible downside with the altcoins. I'll go through the levels now. And from that, I'm seeing the altcoin push, and I'm seeing a very boring Bitcoin. I'm seeing Bitcoin slowly push its way up to the areas. Now, let's actually speak about Bitcoin quickly and speak about the levels of where it's currently at. So it did have the 24,200 level, which was the recent high. Amazing. And now it's starting this basic pullback. Okay. Now we do have the areas of support and the gaps, the one where we can see price accelerate at any point. And what that basically means is when we get to an interesting area, okay, it's time for you to prep. It's time for you to look at possibly adding some positions and these sort of things. But what's great about that too is it's also a time for you to adjust and tighten up on risk, because you know where the area is of how quickly we can accelerate. So if we get to this block, which is probably where I'm still seeing Bitcoin possibly go, and I'll give you a trend line that invalidates that. When we get to this block over here, I'm getting ready. And what I'm doing secondly with that is I've got this beautiful trend that's in play. Amazing. So as I always spoke about, using this as a momentum line of the current move that's down. And if Bitcoin comes here to the 22,500 and it breaks that trend, for me, that was the temporary support, and my stops are right at the bottom of it, and I'm allowing it to move. And the way I see it playing out with Bitcoin is at some point, either this is the area where we bounce over here first. Let me just move this out the way. And basically from here, slow grind, slow, like this. Slow grind back to this area over here. And if it does follow the cheat sheet, it's going to reject here and make the lower high. But in this time is where I see the altcoin eruption, where I see this dominance over here, continue to make its way down, which you can see. Firstly, it started to break trend. It started to definitely show some momentum to the downside. It also rejected at the perfect level. Where it rejected was the 618. So for me, that's a really good level on where dominance actually pulled back. Then we have the two major supports on how far down dominance can actually go. And we have around, this is more or less the area that I'm thinking that it will go to. And reason being is because we have a support trend in that area over there. And I'm expecting it to come around the 42%. So what that basically means is if you liked to see the strength from altcoins over the last few days, you're going to enjoy the next one because it's basically around about the same size that this one went over here to there. And it's just giving another indication because, Bitcoin is pulling back last week and it's still pulling back now. But altcoins aren't getting, I'm not seeing, previously when Bitcoin is pulling back 1% or 2%, I was seeing 4, 5, 8% down in altcoins. We're not getting huge, crazy percentages just yet. And that's the beauty of having the dominance in our favor. Now, for me, everyone's paying attention to that chart, to the chart that is giving us this area over here, which is great. But I would pay attention to this chart when dominance is going up. Dominance is not going up right now. So the chart to focus on is the total 3, is altcoins. Unless dominance is going up, then I understand, but it's going down right now. So for them to say that this is happening right now, yes, I agree. Bitcoin's getting to that level now where it is. But for me, the altcoins still have to make their way to that. And when we have both of them aligning, then it makes sense for me that we can go possibly into that leg. So for me, dominance is still looking to make its way to the downside. We have a look at on the weekly RSI right at the top. And this could indicate something for the next 2 to 3 weeks that dominance can continue to the downside, which is amazing. This is something that we've finally been waiting for when it comes to that. So I want to quickly just jump back and give you my final thoughts on Bitcoin, and then I can jump onto the altcoins Where is my 4-hour chart again? This one over here. There we go. So as it stands, this is sort of the first option that I'm looking at, where Bitcoin holds this level over here. And it holds this level. I'm sort of looking at this little play over here. Then we got the second option where there is a little shakeout. There is a little bit of a liquidation leverage hunt. And if that had to happen, it would basically make its way down from here and basically come down to the 21,400 sort of area. Right now, we're starting to get 4-hour RSI at the bottom. We're going to have some sort of response in these little areas here. And if we don't break the trend, we could possibly come down to the lower sort of area. So the way you trade this is you have that momentum line in with many of them within the altcoins. I'll give you the coins that I'm thinking are going to rocket now next. And it's many of them that I also spoke about last week, but let's speak about the ones that are really strong. And I'll be waiting for the break of this trend on either of these blocks that we have bounced in. If I bounce here and I break trend, I'm in. If I bounce here and we break trend, I'm in. So I wouldn't go too crazy in the block. I'd actually wait for the confirmation. And it's giving you an indication that right now we're having a small redness. It is small, you know, if we look at where Bitcoin's from, it's a small little redness, but we know it can accelerate at any point. But for me, I would basically give it, if we look at time frame here, another 18 hours or so, and we should start to get a little bit of a response. Not too much longer until I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce within the markets. And from that, we will see once we break trend. Now, let's speak about the coins. The first ones that I want to speak about, so I want to give a quick update on the trades, is 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗓𝗓, one that we gave last week that did incredibly well. This is nice because it's starting to catch momentum. And if you have a look over there, it is looking at breaking another possible trend to the upside. For me, the targets on this this token is still between $115 and $120. I do think you half late, so I would be putting very small amounts and be protecting myself around about the $89 sort of mark. But this is still one, if you got the entries from last week, hold on strong. I'm just going to update quickly on 2 or 3 of them. The next one was Lux. Lux, we got in around 22 to 23 cents. So a lot of guys hit really well. If you got into those areas on the weekend, you would have been really happy when you're close to 60-something%. But as it stands, you're probably sitting around 21% profit at the moment. And this is one where it's currently making this trend. So you can see it's still a little bit of time. It could still possibly come a little bit lower. But Lux is one that I've been looking in the higher time frame. I'm focusing on altcoins that are late to the party, if you want to call it. And this is why we caught it. 200-day moving average. Looks, the only areas I'll be buying again is around about the 24-25 cents if it gets there, which I'm not sure it will. But remember to sell, guys. Sell between 40 to 45 cents. Remember to sell on looks. Then let's speak about the next ones. So for me, still, and it's even better now. Be careful with leverage, guys. Leverage is going to be really hard right now, so take really quick TPs on leverage and stuff like that. All these tokens for me on spot or very small margin, but ALGO still, it's just come down beautifully again. And the reason why it's not accelerating just yet, because it's still below 200-day moving average. So when we get above 200-day moving average is when I'm seeing acceleration. And I'm still looking at this getting towards around 40 cents. So ALGO for me, the areas of accumulating is between, it can possibly even come down to around 24 cents. So between 24 and 25.50 cents is my areas of accumulation. This is one that I'm building now, and I feel is not late to the party, and it's one that still has to explode. Who got GRT? Pop in the comments. Boom, 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 boom. We hit it. We hit it perfect. So I gave it to you guys in the area of around 9.5 cents, and it's rocketed. This was good. Great call. 32% up since Friday, which is amazing. No buying anymore. I'll find more for you guys to see the next buys. But look to sell around 15 cents and 20 cents. Remember, cheat sheet is showing depression still coming. So the next push on altcoins, you got to take profits. You got to reduce all your tokens again to smaller amounts until we are confirmed that we're not going to depression. But right now, the chart shows depression next. So you got one more chance to make some good gains. And then it's time for us to change the strategy. And the strategy is going to be accumulating strategy, build token strategy. We'll go through a lot over the next few weeks together. For now, it's like, let's make some money on this last push. And then we can focus after that. We had things like Injective, all of these sort of just waiting at the moment. Curve. Curve as well. So like I said, guys, make it quite easy for yourself right now. 200-day moving average is your spot. Any tokens that have recently broken 200-day moving average and are close and near and testing 200-day, as long as they're good fundamental tokens, don't buy crap. These are good areas for you to load up on. And Curve still has a possibility of coming down another 5 to 8%. And for me, it's still one that I'm looking at around 1.8. Another 60% move on Curve. Same thing with Uni. Uni is one. It says a little bit more downside, which is around about the 6.5. So another 4% down. But then for me, great buy for the next push up to get us between $12 and $14. So Uni is another big one that I'm looking at. Then you got many of these tokens that have done this. And for me, it's like they can do slightly more. TP. Let's move into stuff that is a lot earlier now. So OP, yes, it can go slightly more, but it's made you money. It's made you a lot of money. And I'd be protecting myself with that. Scallop is $1 costing. Because when Scallop finally breaks out of the 32 to the 35 cent mark is when I see the explosion of up to 50 to 60 cents. So it's still a small cap, very high risk, small part of your portfolio. Very similar to how we've made some good money on PBX over the last few days. We made some great money when it comes to Nakamoto over the last few days. Scallop is still the cheaper one for me to dollar cost into. Let's speak about DYDX for a moment. So this one's quite interesting. Obviously, it's come to life and RUNE and them are very bullish on it. But it looks like it's literally broke out and come and tested this RS flip beautifully. So what I am doing on it is on the 4 hour, I am tracking, I want a little bit of a better trend than what we have at the moment. But I'm going to speak to you guys in the next day or two and see if there's a good DYDX position just for a short-term trade. Because for me, the main target of 4.2 wasn't hit just yet. And it's hot. It's hot right now when the market's moving. It's only green one today. It's one of the only ones that are green. And there could be another good entry there for us if that starts to play out. Fantom starting to cool down a little bit. Amazing. Don't get trapped. I know everyone's bullish on Fantom. There's still a really good buy coming up at some point around 40 cents. So don't get trapped into it at the moment. It did hit a major area, which was this resistance here. I do think it can go back to 65 to the 80 cent mark, and that's the dollar costing out. I'm not falling part of this hype. I'm not falling part of this trap. Like, let's just keep making money. VET, there we go. So another 3-4% down in VET in the next, a day or two. And for me, that's my entry. Look at this. Just broke out. Just broke 200-day moving average. We've seen the tokens. Once they break 200-day moving average, they start catching momentum. We've seen this many times now. So for me, the areas are around 2.2 to 2.3 cents. And for me, I'm expecting this to get around 3.3. And if the market has that last little spike push, it can make its way to around the 4 cent mark. You're looking at an 80% trade. So this is one of my favorites, VeChain, that I'm loading up on these on this next pullback. Let's speak about this one. This is still my favorite one. THORChain on 200-day moving average right now. Getting near to about a few days away from a golden cross. Only recently broke a beautiful trend line, retesting. It does have the possibilities of coming down to 1.65 or these sort of areas. But anyway, here, I'm building a position. And I'm building a position to make up to the areas of around $3.5 to $4. So I'm looking at around one of those, those crazy runs that THORChain just does now and then, which just rips. And I'm looking between around about an 80% trade from THORChain. So ignore the ones that have moved, guys. If you got them, amazing. Work on TP strategies. But we need to find the ones that are next poised and the ones that are next strong. Because the total 3 is only coming to life now. So THORChain is a big one for me. One that's still strong is DOT right now. And if you look at DOT, it's holding tremendously well. And same thing. It's got the 200-day moving average around 6.3 to 6.4. And that's my dollar costing zone for DOT. I'm still looking at DOT make its way to the higher ranges of $9 to $10, if not the $12 area. We'll work on the higher TPs. For now, I'm giving you the basic ones of around 50%. But DOT for me is still one of the big ones. Solana losing steam. It got rejected in a bad place. I won't be buying Solana dip just yet. I'd actually wait for Solana to break this major trend. It's gotten rejected. It's one of the only coins that are getting rejected quite strongly from the 200-day moving average. Let's be honest, it held this level for so long. Solana went through a bunch of crap, and it's going to be very hard for it to get above this level. And anywhere here, if you had big Solana bags, I'd be just protecting myself slightly. Solana for me only gets bullish once we're above this trend, which could take a little while until Solana actually starts to catch some sort of steam. Ethereum's chilling right now, not doing much at all as it speaks. So I won't be buying Ethereum right now. I'll just be holding nice and tight. I'm still waiting on the next push. Slow gradual growth, like I said, similar to Bitcoin, around 1.8, maybe 1.9 from ETH on the next push. And I think that's where it temporarily taps out. The next big one is ZOL. So ZOL for me, again, can have another 5 to 6% pullback, but around about the 2.6 cent mark is my dollar costing. And ZOL is still the big one for me that gets to around 5 cents. So you can see I'm choosing a lot of these tokens that have only recently broken these areas and retesting. And ZOL we know we like because once in a while it hits a crazy ass pump now and then. And you can see it's done it there and it's done it many times before, where it just hits these crazy runs. And it usually comes off a great, downwards accumulating period. And this is a big accumulating period. So I'm quite interested to see how ZOL can react if the market turns nice and bullish. With a lot of these, so what we're focusing on now, guys, is getting some entries, getting some good positions built up. And then after that, we're looking at protection. As these areas, and we've confirmed these are bounces and things like that, I'll work on stop losses with you guys. We'll ride this up. I'll make sure we all damn take profits. You may be cross with me to be like, oh, Sheldon, it's going to go more. It's going to go more. I don't care. I'm going to fight you hard to take profits soon so we can all sit and celebrate when that big, that huge candle day comes at some point. I need to, guys. We've learned a lot in the last while. THETA for me, another one, 200-day. Right now, I'm looking at 1.5 accumulating, 1.05. I'm still expecting this to get to around 1.6. So for me, it's also another coin that's just showing incredible strength. And for me, that hasn't moved yet. It hasn't popped just yet. And it hasn't given me that crazy momentum move as we speak. Render, absolutely ripped. You can't buy Render, guys. Can't buy Render now. I think there's one more push in Render to $2 maybe. I would, to be honest, take about 50 to 70% of my profits right here. But because you're looking at this little move here as a maybe. But $2, I'm out. Because this we're going to get back to at $1. At some point, we're going to get it 50% cheaper than what it is now. And it's made you money. It's been one of those that have just ripped and done incredibly well. So Render, I'd be focusing on TPing out. Link for me is not ready to pump yet. Losing some trends at the moment, slow. So Link, like I said, I'm still very bullish for the future. It's just not one that I'm accumulating for short-term trades now. Same as AVAX. AVAX only around possibly 17, but it's not giving me that main feel. I see on Aptos, RUNE should finally be in profit. I think he got in at 60. I think he's in profit. I think RUNE's finally in profit when it comes to Aptos, which is good. I'm glad he is in some profits. NEAR protocol also just similar to Link in that right now. Only if we really get it low at these ranges, we'll focus on it, but not right now, guys. I wouldn't be selling my long-term bag. I just won't be adding more to it just yet. Let's look at some of the gaming tokens. So Mana's really good, and you're going to finally get Decentraland back at a retest. These charts are amazing, guys. These are really good long trends, 200-day moving averages. They're good areas. So I'm expecting this to come back. This one's showing about an 8% pullback. And that's my area to push because I still see gaming having an explosion. And that explosion could be a 80% explosion. So remember, we're working hard now to get our entries, and then I'm focusing the rest of the week on where we're getting TPs. I saw a lot of people, I gave trades the whole of last week, and then on Friday, they're asking me for new trades. Guys, catch the trades while they're there, because when they're gone, it gets hard as hell to get your entries. So stay focused here and make your list and get the right tokens, because we're going to get to a point where there's going to be no more buys. And we're only focused on taking profits, and I want all of you to at least have some sort of skin in the game, making some money. So that's a definite good one there. Over there, I saw 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫. Great. Definitely not buying, but holding strong. I still think 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 has another 40-50% in it until I'd be looking at some TPs. So the graph's done well. I see 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓. Let's actually speak about 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 for a second. So 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 making its way up, definitely broke the 200-day, which is amazing to see that it was getting some momentum. And it's looking pretty good. So I think the areas of 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 is a slight accumulation around about the $10 mark. And I'll say the TPs is this area over here. I don't think it hits that crazy run just yet, but I do think it can get to $16, $17 on this next push up. I think it's only later where we start hitting the high figures again with 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓. But I think there's still opportunity for some short-term gains. Let's speak about SUSHI swap. So guys, I'm giving you many different tokens. Take that token and be like, okay, let me categorize this token. He's talking about DeFi tokens. He's talking about gaming tokens. He's talking about smart contract tokens. And make sure you got 2 or 3 max in each category. You know what I mean? And I'll say this again. You look at the coin, you'll be like, I understand this. If I had to buy here, I would put my stop loss here. And risk to reward is good. Very little risk, lots of reward. Understand the trade. That's the token you choose. People ask me, how do I know which one to trade? Which one makes sense to you? Which one do you know to have an idea that you would know how to trade it if it goes either way? That's the token that you choose, one that makes sense. And don't chase the ones that have done hundreds of percents. They may still go slightly more up, but they're going to trap you. Then it comes down to Filecoin, which is just taking a little bit of time here. It does look like Filecoin can come down to around 4.7, 4.8, and that would be a little bit more of accumulating. Now, with Filecoin, it's a little bit of a longer term sort of view. Because you look at it when it comes to Ethereum, and the growth over Ethereum is just incredible. Look at this. So Filecoin's time's coming. It may take a little bit of time now, so I wouldn't bank on it on spot trading to make you money straight away. But I think for one to accumulate over the next few months, I think it's going to make you great Ethereum, great Bitcoin, and great dollars over the next 2 years. So it's one that I'm slowly taking time to dip quite a bit into. But look at this with Bitcoin too. It's just crazy. It's crazy the amount of Bitcoin that it can make you. If you take 0.01 of Bitcoin, you take 0.1 Bitcoin, and this thing gets anywhere back to these levels, you can be sitting at a Bitcoin. And ultimately, that's what you're doing. In a market where the market turns bullish like this, and we're starting to get a little bit of an alt run, you're getting into altcoins because it can make you more Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin's king. And whatever can outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum is why you're going to those tokens. And ultimately, then you're sitting with a spoiled for choice. Okay, cool. I've made a lot of money. Either I can take 2 times more Bitcoin than what I had, or I can take 3 times more Ethereum than what I had, or I can take dollars. You have a choice. You have a choice of what you want to take profits into, which is absolutely amazing. It gives you a lot of views on it. Let's see. Dogecoin, quiet. Nothing much with Dogecoin at the moment at all. Injective protocol, TPs. I'll take profits. I'll take profits on INJ. Anything that's done this, I'm out for now, because I'm either buying back a lot cheaper, or there's better stuff, to be honest. There's better tokens to be accumulating. Let's go look at Bitcoin as we speak. Slightly pull. So this is where I'm expecting it to go to, guys. 22,400 as the first test, and I'm expecting the breakout in the next 2-3 days possibly, or the next loss of support, which comes down. So use this trend line. Don't rush now. Many of the tokens will give you trend lines, and trade to that. You now have the area of where you can expect a bounce, and an area of where you can see an increase of momentum to the downside. Leverage is high at the moment. There's a lot of amateurs entering the market again, and they're going to want to flush them out now and then. But use this trend line to help you detect the breakouts and know the possible areas of where we could bounce, and keep it quite simple. If we bounced here and we broke trend, amazing. You enter in those altcoins, you enter ALGO if it's on that support, you enter ZIL, you enter RUNE, Thorchain, great, and you put the stop loss under the previous low. Simple. On the daily, on the 4-hour or the 8-hour. You put the stop loss in. Great. This is it. This is where we should push. We're nearly there, guys. We've got another few days to possible another week or two, maybe a little bit more, and then we might have an end to this run. And you have to believe it. Like you can't sit and not believe it and not say it's stuff. So trade it like that and take advantage of what's in front of you right now. Let's speak about TFUEL. A few smaller caps over here. So I think on this pullback, TFUEL can make its way to 5 cents. And for me, it's a great slight dollar costing, higher risk, higher reward, obviously. But where it hit was great. And when it finally clears through this range properly of 8 cents, I'm looking at it to go to 12 cents. And for me, TFUEL, with THETA, if I'm buying THETA, I'm buying TFUEL, and the way I would work it is I would buy 15% the ratio. So if it's $1,000, I'll buy $850 of THETA, and I'll buy 150 of TFUEL. Same with VET and VTHO. I would buy the gas tokens because they're the ones that rip. You can be looking at THETA making 50% to its next push up, and you can be looking at TFUEL making 100%. But if THETA pulls back 20%, TFUEL's pulling back 40%. So you just have the understanding of those two. Guys, let me take on a few tokens that you want me to take on. Let's have a look. Gala Games. Gala Games. Any live trading shows on radar shorter time frame? Yes, there are more trading runs. Now got me going with these things. Did you like the 9-hour stream? Even though we weren't there all the times, did you like it? What did you think about the 9-hour stream? It was crazy, really crazy to do such a long stream. Gala Games. So for me, you can see it's losing trend, and finally, I think we can start prepping to get a better entry for Gala. The first one's 200-day moving average, which is around about 4 cents, and the second one a possibility of 3 cents. So we'll focus on this. It is forming a trend. As you can see, I can see it pretty clearly, where it is forming this slow momentum trend over here. So be patient with it, and we'll get the Gala Games buy, because the next one's interesting for Gala, because if it breaks here, it's going to the higher ranges of 90 cents, and this could end up being another. There's a lot of hype around the token, and it could end up being another huge trade when it comes for Gala Games. Let's look at. Okay, so you guys want to see some AI tokens? Let's go see. Look at our AI list. See where that. Whew, crazy. AI ripping. Look at AI. Absolutely incredible. TPs. Just take your profits for now, guys. Yeah, AI tokens absolutely killing it at the moment. So like I said, I think the first pump of AI is fake, similar to the first NFT run. Bunch of crap, to be honest. I think that's cool, but I think a bunch of crap. So I'll definitely take all profits on this. I still think this is the catalyst to the next bull market. I still think AI is the next catalyst. We're just not in full bull market territory just yet. Let's look at. Okay, I'm not saying it, guy, but I'll talk about SHIB. I'll talk about SHIB. I'm not trading it. I'm not in it at all. Shiba Inu looks strong. Looks good. Looks like it finally broke out that range. It's getting a golden cross. If it breaks this area over here, it could do another 50%. It looks really good. Are you asking me to chart XRP? Are you serious? XRP. Okay. What is going to finally happen? Are we going to finally have this stuff play out? It's dead right now, guys. Nothing right now. It looks like the only area to accumulate is early 30 cents. So I'm not interested in that right now. No, I'm not talking about this token. Sorry. Definitely not. I'm not talking about this one either. It's not that time yet, guys. Don't get FOMO'd into the crap. The meme coins, like, not yet. There's time to make money on them, but not just yet. Boink, all of them. Now you guys are just putting a bunch of DJing coins here. Let's first get the bounce. Then I'll go slightly more DJing on you guys. We're doing a lot more live trading, a lot more stuff. Have a fantastic day. Let's see where this pullback happens tomorrow. Let's get some entries. I'm telling you, there's one more great pump. We're going to make a killing together. Stay focused, stay in tuned. And then we're going to work on TPs. I'm going to force you guys to sell on the next one. Okay, not really. You choose the button, but if you want to, but we're going to take profits. We're going to learn. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on tomorrow's show. Much love.